This car has lost its bloody mind. Oh, this son of a... Here we are again. Really? Yes, really, it's happening. I can't believe it myself. I'd like to thank Vincero Watches for sponsoring the tow of my Mercedes today and its repairs and this video as it broke again in the weirdest way possible again. I was thrilled that Vincero wants to continue to be a sponsor of my channel because I am a big fan of their product. I'm currently wearing one of their brand new Altitude chronograph models and it has the look and feel of a much more expensive fancy watch. Just look at the attention to the detail here with the great looking dial and bezel, along with the clean brushed steel finish like my DeLorean. And on the back of the case is the company's motto, Veni Vidi Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered, along with a real piece of Italian marble. I also got another one of their Altitude models in the mail, a blue one. It's different with the blue dial and the packaging. As you can see, it's great. It's nice and heavy. It makes a good gift. But the blue dial is really sharp as well. And I really like the tanned leather band. Really sharp. Vincero wanted me to let you know that these styles are extremely popular and do tend to sell out fast. So while a few of the colors may sell out, there are still others available. So hurry, click the link in the description below, use your code Hoovies, and grab yourself a watch. Vincero watches are water resistant and have a scratch resistant crystal face. And because they're sponsoring today's video, I'm able to offer viewers 15% off their Vincero watch by going to their website, vincerowatches.com, which is linked in the description below, and use the code Hoovies. Support me by supporting my generous sponsor and treat yourself. vincerowatches.com and use the code Hoovies. Now back to the broken Mercedes. Actually, we're going to go in my reliable Toyota to see what the heck's going on. It has little skinny tires on the back and there's not much weight back there, so when it's wet outside, it just loves to kick out the tires and the supercharger kicks in. This Previa is awesome. And unlike my E63 wagon that's on its way to the Car Wizard on a tow truck, this thing has been very good since I had it all sorted out. Now, when you buy a used car, especially a cheap one or the cheapest one, you gotta expect problems, especially with this van. This is my 1995 Toyota Previa. I bought it shortly after it was traded in at a big car dealership, and I paid a really cheap price for it, but it seemed to be fine. Unfortunately, the previous owner or someone had put stop leak in the cooling system to hide the fact that the head gasket was going, and the head gasket blew on me. And that cost basically more than what I paid for the van to fix it, to take out the engine and do a new head gasket. But now that it's sorted, it's worth it because the van is behaving. I have a mid-engine, supercharged rear-wheel drive minivan, a giant egg with supercar DNA that I can now cruise around in and not have to worry about. 2 months ago when I picked up that E63 wagon, I can't tell you how excited I was to get it. It's something that I've always wanted, and they'd always been priced way beyond what I thought was reasonable, but I found this one for only $13,000. It had 200,000 miles on it, but a whole big stack of service records, and it seemed to be in excellent condition. And it was in excellent condition cosmetically, and it was green. I love green, and that's a really rare color. Most of them are silver or black. And even with 100,000 miles, they can be 25 grand. And with low miles, they've been selling for upwards of $40,000 for these 2007 to 2009 E63 wagons, just because of the really low production numbers and desirability. Now, this is definitely one of those instances where you never want to meet your heroes, because now that I own it, it might be the worst car that I've ever owned, and that's really saying something. To refresh you on my E63 wagon saga, I bought the car in New York and I attempted to drive it from New York City back to Wichita, Kansas. I didn't make it. It broke down in Kansas City and I had to leave it at the dealer to get fixed. They charged me $1,300 to replace the gateway computer, which I guess is what communicates the engine and all that stuff to the cabin. That's why I lost all my gauges and the car wouldn't restart and all that jazz. They replaced it for $1,300, and that enabled me to drive it back to Newton, Kansas, to where my Car Wizard is located, and the real round of repairs could begin. In total, I spent about $4,000 sorting this E63 out. Well, not really totally sorting it. The big expense was the brakes. That was almost $2,000 of it, but to fix some other electrical problems, other things. But that didn't last long, because the moment I drove it home, the check engine light came on again, and this time it was for fuel pumps or maybe fuel filters. Somebody mentioned that in the comment section. Maybe I should give that a try, but the car was driving fine. Flash forward 2 weeks or about 2 months into ownership, and this happens. Take a look. I'm driving down the road with no gauges, no air conditioning, no radio, nothing. Almost like I've shut off the car, which I did actually, because the wipers were going crazy. So I shut off the car to try and reset it, and I thought it wouldn't restart. It seemed dead, but then I realized the engine's running. It wouldn't take the key, it wouldn't turn the key's out of the ignition, but it's still running. I was able to drive it home that way, completely dead, parked it in my driveway, and it started going completely nuts. Boy, the rain's really coming down now, which I think is what's causing the electrical problems on the E63, because it all happened after I took it through the car wash. Now, I let it dry for a few days and plugged back in the battery, and everything was fine. It seemed totally normal, so I pulled it back in the garage, and then I heard a buzzing noise in the garage, and then this happened. This car has lost its bloody mind. It completely sprayed all over itself, the garage, and on my 500 SL, all over the side of it, in the interior, all over. Just basically evacuated all of its washer fluid. And to top it off, it wouldn't start. I had to push it out of the garage and disconnect the battery because I was worried something was going to burn down because clearly it's lost its mind. And I called a tow truck. So now here we are on our way to the Car Wizard to figure out what the hell is going on with this E63. It's demon possessed. Oh my God. Wizard! Wizard!
I've invited the devil into my shop.
Oh my lordy.
It's a work of art.
Those deep dish phone dial kind of wheels. Every contour. Oh, and it's a roadster.
A roadster, yes.
That panel comes off and bolts right onto the bonnet there.
Sure does.
Oh man. See, I think these seat covers are for you, so you don't smudge it up, or are they on there all the time?
I'm not sure.
This thing's awesome.
It is pretty cool.
This thing's awesome. I would love to have one, but I think I'm happy with my Gallardo. It's a little more practical.
More modern.
It has a lot of what this offers, but in a much more usable package. That suddenly I don't care about my E63 anymore. But maybe we should go take a look. Well, wouldn't you know it, of course, this demon-possessed thing starts right up now. And other than being completely out of washer fluid from expelling it all over my garage, it seems totally fine. I don't know. Wizard and I are digging into it now. So Wizard, nothing looks wet, right?
I haven't found any modules that are wet.
We looked in this fuse box, there's no water. We looked in the back, which is
The rear SAM.
Where the rear SAM is, and it's dry. So I guess it just dried out and now it's acting normally.
It must have. It just takes a few drops of water to create havoc.
Right. Well, I guess we can go back through the car wash.
Let's try it. Woo! Hopefully this doesn't leave us stranded.
Oh, this is ridiculous. It's perfectly fine now. It really is.
It's because it showed up to the wizard shop. That's why.
It's a demon.
It is. It probably is a demon.
See if the car wash exorcises the demon. Anything?
Nothing. It's just purring like a kitten.
Really?
As happy as can be.
I have video evidence of all this happening, so I'm not making it up. Well, that's frustrating.
Doesn't seem like the demon's going to come out and play right now.
No. I don't know, Wizard. Maybe that box was a little loose because I did play with it a little bit before it came up here. And it's had a chance to dry out now that it's been, whatever, 5 days or 6 days since it happened.
It's been at the car wash, so now maybe whatever's if there's anything leaks, it can drip in.
Yeah. I'll just leave it with you. We'll leave the battery hooked up. If it goes insane, then you'll see it.
I'll see it.
If not, we'll leave it. It'll probably go crazy over the weekend and burn the whole garage down along with half a dozen of my cars. But
I hope not.
I'm a little nervous. It's frustrating. I want to enjoy this car, and now I absolutely cannot trust it for a multitude of reasons.
Well, actually, I have some good news for you to maybe alleviate your stress.
Really?
Yeah. I have a running 911 turbo.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
No.
It's alive.
That's awesome. Any hiccups, any leaks, anything?
No.
Man, I've almost forgotten what it drives like. It's been so long. I miss it so much. This is so exciting.
It
Okay,
is.
well,
It's alive again.
forget the E63, that pile of junk. It's unsellable too, because I can't get rid of it in good conscience knowing that, so I have to keep it for a while at least and keep driving it to see if it repeats, but oh well, at least there's some good news.
It is. It's
Yes,
very good news.
very exciting. And it's right on my 1-year anniversary of owning the Porsche, so I'll do a video soon of what it's like to own a Porsche 911 Turbo for 1 year, my thoughts. And my thoughts are good. Thank you for watching.